Hello!
Hello.
We're back!
Again.
After another slight hiatus, Alex has had another baby.
This time it was triplets.
Oh, God!
It was an ordeal.
That sounds intense.
It was an ordeal, but I made it through.
You're here with us today.
And how lucky we are to be together again in Shay, Alex, Maxted.
For
another episode of the
studio.
The studio, yeah, here again in the studio.
It's warm.
Joining us in the studio.
You, me.
It's the
God,
ghost of Wagner.
Just gonna ramble. What are we doing today?
Well, today is a little bit special again. Every day is special.
Every day is special.
Every day at the Classic
We've
Pod
only got
is
good
special,
things here.
But we have got a quiz.
Yes.
We are going to do a quiz. We're going to test each other.
Yes, to see if we
And
actually
see who
deserve
wins.
to do this podcast.
Exactly. If we deserve to do this podcast, if we deserve to have careers in classical music, if we're worthless as people or if we're worth something.
Yeah, that's what
all
my
of this
questions
will
are
be
about.
determined in the quiz
Today.
today. So looking forward to it.
But-
I have to say before we get started,
Yes.
Johnny's questions and answers and
no.
little facts, I already know that they are going to be so well researched, and so he's got little things printed out, and I can see bullet points
No.
there. Mine were me 15 minutes ago writing
Okay,
things
you
down on my
can't
notes
can't
app.
show them how the cookie's made.
Do I know that all of my answers are correct? Absolutely not. Have
Wait,
I looked them up? Kind of, a
Well,
little bit.
We famously
But-
don't research things on this podcast.
research. The amount of cutting that has to be done.
Well, yes. Well, we'll see. It's just
We
a 20.
will.
It's a 20-minute video. It's like, there's a reason.
Exactly. Well, how do we want to get started? Do you want to launch into your questions, or do we want to have some gentle
There's a hard
chat
structure.
Should we ease up to it? What are we going to do?
I love we're doing this bit on the podcast rather than what we should have spoken about before.
Yes.
Maybe just briefly tell us where you've been and why we've not been able to
Okay,
record.
yeah, shall we start there? Okay,
Yeah.
let's have a little catch up. Well, I have been in Italy. I have been producing Amiata music.
Tell us more.
Tell us more.
Sell
Okay.
Sell
God,
it.
what can I say? Amiata music, I mean, there is just so much to sell. It is fantastic. It is in the heart of, it's nestled away amid olive groves and vineyards in the middle of nowhere in Tuscany, in the
lovely.
Maremma region of Tuscany. We had a variety of concerts. We had Joyce Di Donato come and perform Emily No Prisoner Bee with Time for Three. That was incredible. We had Concerto Romano and Lawrence Kilsby. We had Europa Galante. We had Misha Muller-Bardo. We had Luca Micheletti and Malcolm Martineau. We had Sinfonia of Smith Square and the soloist from Masquerade Opera.
Goodness.
We had many, many, many different things, and it's all at the Forum Fondazione Bertorelli in Tuscany.
And it's still going.
It is still going. We have more concerts coming up. Alessandra Ott is coming in
yes.
September, which will be very exciting. And we have Trio Concept doing a residency in October. So it is all a go
It's
in
all going.
Tuscany. It's unmissable.
If you find
It
yourself...
is actually unmissable.
Well, you're
if
saying,
you're
if
in-
anyone... Obviously, people should be booking their flights now to Tuscany.
I would be surprised if people haven't already booked
What
their
else are
flights,
they
but
doing?
Yeah, exactly.
What
It's
else
the
are they
place to
doing?
be, frankly.
Well, I can't wait to be invited next year.
You are always welcome, Johnny. You
Yes.
are always very welcome.
Well,
Tell me about what you've been up to.
not very much, really.
I feel like I've been seeing you left, right, and centre.
Well-
your Wagner T-shirt made an appearance at Brighton Pride. That was quite
yes,
fun.
I was actually going to bring that up in the next episode.
Okay, so shh.
We'll keep people. Wait until 2 weeks, and you'll hear about. Read the script. No, it's been. I mean, I've been sort of all over the place in terms
Yeah.
of I've been seeing lots of operas for
Yeah.
various jobs and things. I was over in Ireland at the Kilkenny Festival,
Yes.
which was just a brilliant experience because I've actually never been to Ireland before.
I've never been to Ireland either. Would you
and-
recommend the experience?
Absolutely. It's sort of there's sort of the stress of it's the going to a country but not having to worry about the language,
Yeah, that's true. That's
which is
true.
if it's either trying to speak that language or having to awkwardly say, "Excuse me, parlez-vous anglais," and then looking like an idiot.
Yeah.
Here it's fine, and the Irish are just the loveliest people. They're so hospitable, and they all just want to have a good time.
Do you feel, this is like a random question, but do you feel that you have echolalia and you take on other people's accents when they speak?
Well, I think they'd probably hit me. They'd probably hit me.
Yeah, it would be deserved.
A little bit, the history.
Yeah, tell me about the history of Ireland.
Yeah, that's a good topic for this podcast.
Starting with the crucifixion of Christ.
Okay, good. I was like, shut up. But
anyway, when was Bach born?
We haven't started the bloody questions yet. Oh my god! They're like, I'm glad someone sit down. It's the end of the day, and like, I know, I'm going to sit down this nice, calming, classical podcast, and here we are just rambling at each other.
Yeah.
I mean, business as usual. Kilkenny is lovely. It's a beautiful, beautiful little sort of town. It's got a castle. It's got a cathedral in it.
Very cool.
But the Kilkenny Festival is more than just music. It's like there's dance, there's poetry, there's sort of sculpture and sort of art in sort of installations around the town.
Right, so it's like a cultural hub.
Yes, and it's just so sort of it's a lot of traditional stuff, obviously pulling on sort of the Irish culture, but also like very modern stuff. So it's a real sort of all-encompassing festival, and I was just so happy to see this sort of thing happening in a place like this. It's not a big place, and it's not particularly easy to get to. It's like, you used to have to get, you have to fly there and you have to get on a train or drive or whatever, and it's sort of in the middle of Ireland. But to hear like so many different, like you could hear the different accents and languages and just in the town, all these tourists.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this is really nice.
Sounds like there's a parallel with Amiata music then, that it's kind of a remote location, but a cultural hub in the middle. It's very important to have these places.
I think it's quite special.
Pilgrimage.
A pilgrimage.
A pilgrimage.
My favourite cheese. Okay, that's awful. awful. So yeah, I was very, very happy to be there. It was very much just like a get on the plane, fly there, see like an opera,
a flying visit, literally.
Because that's just.
Which opera did you see?
So it was a new piece called The Curing Line, which was amazing. I wrote a review of it for Opera Now. I gave it 5 stars, and I know when you go into these like modern operas or modern sort of shows, you always think, "Ooh, what's it going to be like? Are they going to be a bit sort of like trying too hard or trying like too much?"
Yeah.
And at first, you could have thought it was trying too much because it was very much sort of multi-rolling. So there was only really sort of 2 singers, but the orchestra would like play different instruments. Well, there's about 5 in the orchestra. They play different instruments. They'd sometimes sing and play a character. There was a lot of like video stuff, so like a live video on stage with the projector onto the back. But it was oddly very sort of touching. It was about these sort of 2 sisters and their dad. So one of the sisters was adopted, but their dad had this sort of like folk magic to be able to cure people of like sort of respiratory illnesses.
And was it set in Ireland?
Yes.
Okay.
So there was a lot of Irish in it, like folk. Irish. Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of Irish language was in there.
Cool.
And there was some like really beautiful moments. Like they'd have these because there was a supernatural element of the sort of the magic of like being able to cure people, but it was set in the 90s, so it still looked very sort of real.
Yeah.
And they had these moments where they'd bring out like a screen and they'd project a character, like a pre-recorded character who was talking about maybe sort of like succumbing to pneumonia, and which is a very sort of real thing that people will have either experienced themselves or know people that have experienced.
Yeah.
And she was sort of, I would sort of describe it as like she was sort of singing this like verbatim interview, but sort of in a more sort of, I don't know well enough, but like Irish, sort of traditional Irish way with like the harmonies and the inflections. And that was pre-recorded, and then she would start singing, and then as it went on, like the people on stage were then sort of harmonizing with her.
Right.
And so it felt very...
the texture builds around the recording.
And it's very much this sort of like ritual and this very, this sort of sense of community through music, which is very much at the heart of a lot of traditional Irish communities.
Yeah.
So it felt very sort of grounded in where it was.
Amazing. And was it like what's the capacity at the venue? Were there lots of people? Or?
It wasn't a massive place, but it was sold quite well. A few hundred.
Okay.
I'm not very good at picking capacity.
Yeah,
I'm really actually terrible at capacity. People come to me like, it's a 2,500 person venue. I'm like, Is that a lot?
Yeah.
How many is
How
that?
many people is that? What does that look like in front of my eyes?
Lovely.
Oh, well, that's very cool.
So it's a great time, and I'd obviously love to go back to Ireland because everyone was so lovely there.
Next time I will join you.
Yes, you will.
You'll come
Invite
to
us.
Amiata Music, and
We'll swap.
I'm coming to Kilkenny. We'll swap, will we?
I'll get
Cool.
the tan, you'll get
Can't wait.
athlete's foot. I don't know. No, it's fine. I did not get
Okay.
athlete's foot in Ireland.
That is a misconception.
It's a misconception. Everyone says that. Anyway, should we test
Yeah,
each
should we
other?
get started?
So I've got notes printed out like an old-fashioned person.
I
said old
have got
person,
my notes app on my laptop next to me.
which is fine because I would do
Which
that.
is fine.
No, I would do that. Except all my devices are being used to film this.
Yeah, that is true. Well, yeah. Okay, yeah, fine.
I don't own anything else.
Fine,
Sorry,
fine.
not yet.
So should we do one from you and one from me?
Yeah, I think we should alternate because otherwise I'll just be
Okay.
talking for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Are you ready?
No, I really think I'm going to do. Well,
I'm not
let's
going to
see.
do these.
Let's
I'm
see
not
how
going
I
to do these in order.
Let's see how I do.
Sorry, it feels like I'm giving you an exam.
Yeah, kind of does. Okay, let's get started.
Oh, well, this one's good. This one's good. Alex, question 1.
Yeah.
Which composer wrote a symphony in which the musicians gradually stop playing, extinguish their candles, and then leave the stage?
Is it multiple choice, or do I
Oh,
just
do you want me
have
to give you
say?
the multiple choices?
I mean, I think I have an idea.
give me your idea. And if it's
Haydn.
yes, can
Yeah.
you give me any more information?
Is it the like farewell or something like that, and they blow
Yes.
out the candles and it's
Ooh,
all, and
yes.
then there's the one musician left?
As a like Haydn symphony fanatic,
Yeah.
you get into all I mean, there's 104 of them, but it's these funky ones that have little like I don't want to say gimmick.
No, but it's sort of programmatic in
But
a way
gimmick.
that's
So it's
semi-staged. Semi-staged symphony.
So it's his symphony number 45. You didn't give us any of this detail in F sharp minor.
F sharp minor. I did
Do
actually
you know
that.
why they want why it was written this way?
I mean, other than the kind of visual effect of it, and no, I'm
So-
going to say no.
It was a sort of a protest in a way.
Oh,
So
okay.
Haydn spent most of his life employed by the Esterhazy family, the Prince
Right,
Esterhazy.
yeah.
And during the summer, as most of these sort of noble people did, they'd go out to their summer residence, which was very much quite far away from where they lived for the rest of the year. And with him, the Esterhazys took Haydn and all the musicians as their servants, because they were servants back in those days. They were employed.
Yeah.
They'd been away from their families for too long,
Yeah.
and they wanted to sort of slightly hint to the Prince Esterhazy that they want to go back.
I see. Okay, so it was kind of to pull at their heartstrings to show
Yes,
that.
to sort of be
How
like,
interesting!
we
No,
want
I
to
didn't
go
know
home.
that. I wonder if I had been told that at one point and forgot it. But I think that's it's very interesting. No, I guess in my mind it was more of a like kind
Just
of
dramatic, like
yeah,
a dramatic thing.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I don't think any of
Haydn
the Haydn
vibes.
symphonies that have little fun things, there's no like reason like there is for this.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful piece. I mean, it's that last movement. It's like a really fast presto, and then
Yeah.
suddenly it turns into this adagio. And everyone just
Yeah, I
slowly
remember, and yeah, it's like the parallel in my head is Dialogue des Carmélites, you know, where they all get sent to the scaffold.
they get
and
their
it's-
heads cut off.
They do, but like it's one after, and then you're
It's
left
great
with the
scene,
one.
though.
It is, and you're left with the one voice, and it's similar in
I like
Symphony number
that.
45.
There you go.
There we go, Poulenc, Haydn.
Exactly
Essentially
the
the same person.
According to his biographers, I've got quotes.
Johnny, oh my
I've
god,
got quotes.
okay.
According to his biographers, the prince understood the message, and they all left to go back
Really?
home the day after.
The next
And
day.
in fact, he said the prince and his audience at once understood the point of this pantomime.
Pantomime, wow.
So well done.
There we
You
go.
got that. You did get that.
You sound surprised.
We're going to count up the scores at the end.
Okay, 1-0.
Okay, Alex, hit me.
Okay, wait, but mine are a little different vibe.
We'll let the audience decide.
We'll let the audience decide who the real winner is. Okay, yeah, the one that I'm going to ask you first is actually sort of music adjacent.
Okay, good.
And I am going to give you all 4 options of
Okay.
multiple choice.
I'm grateful.
My question is, Which Russian writer whose text was used in operas by Shostakovich and Rimsky-Korsakov is believed to have been buried alive? Is it Pushkin? Is it Tolstoy? Is it Turgenev? Or is it Gogol?
Half that list sounded like a venereal disease. I'm not good with literature.
You are going to have to give it a stab in the dark. It was not Tolstoy. It was Gogol. And the interesting thing here is that, Gogol, he was working on his last work, which was Dead Souls, which ends, he died while he was working on it. So it was an unfinished work. And it ends on words, it's like, and we barely... Like,
it's very dramatic.
Yeah. And he sort of had a real decline mental health-wise, stopped eating, and
I see.
he kind of expired. But the weird thing is, he had an irrational fear his whole life of being buried alive. He would talk about it all the time. And it was like a big thing for him. And the reason, they're still not sure, and many things could have happened, but they moved his body in 1931. And when they dug him up, he was lying face down. He had moved in his coffin. And so they believed that Gogol was buried alive, that he had moved around. And yeah,
that's morbid.
It's a rather macabre one, but he wrote The Nose, which became an opera by Shostakovich. Shostakovich. And the Rimsky-Korsakov one, I think, is Christmas Eve or something like that. That's based on a text by Gogol. He wrote a lot of short stories.
I see.
The Madman, really, an iconic one.
Not a literature person. Well, no, okay. I've just said that. I am a literature person.
You are, yeah.
But not...
You're a wider arts person, definitely.
I don't read as much as I used to. This is not becoming an agony aunt of why I don't read.
Yeah, let's delve into that, Johnny.
I just can't read anymore. To be fair, after university, which was just reading, my love of reading was just shot in the dark.
Really? I find it, I go through phases. I read loads like a couple of years ago, and this year I was reading the same book for 8 months. I just couldn't finish it.
I know what you mean.
Our Mutual Friend by Charles Dickens. It took me ages. My friend. Yeah.
It's more you see people that go on holiday and they come back and they go, I read these 7 books.
Yeah, that's my mum and my sister.
How did you have time? Your mum is an author.
Yeah, it's true. Like, so she's cheating. But my sister's like that. Yeah, she's
read them
always reading.
It's mad.
And she'll read 900-page very smart novels. And she'll be like, yeah, I just finished.
I didn't even manage to finish The Christmas Carol, A Christmas Carol over Christmas.
Really?
Because it's a bit weird doing it after Christmas. It's like singing a panto in January.
Yeah, you got to stop.
You have to stop.
Yeah, you have got to stop.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'll do a one-man play of it for you.
Well,
don't worry.
Well, we have plenty of time.
Yeah. Wait, but I do have a story about this, which is when on World Book Day, when we were in year 5.
Yes.
I made my own costume, and I was the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come from A Christmas Carol.
Which one? Muppet?
No, yeah, literally. I mean, Muppet Christmas Carol is
the definitive version.
No, so I was in a shroud. Yeah, similar to Muppet Christmas Carol.
Say.
But it's also from the illustrations. And I was the only one who wasn't something fun or funny. I was like a ghost. And I did not win the costume competition, even though I made my own costume.
Did you learn a bed sheet?
And I had a stocking over my face that looked like it was hollow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You should wear that for the next pod.
Shall I? Next episode? Yeah, let's do it. I think I'm ready for your next question, Johnny.
Are you? Well, we'll see about that. Which composer originally associated his 3rd symphony with Napoleon?
I think, again, I know this one. Is it Beethoven?
It is Beethoven.
With the Funeral March, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything else? Sorry, I really shouldn't push you for more information when I have all the facts in front of me. Yes.
What else do I think about it? Was it 1801? Was that when it was?
1803 to 1804.
1803 to 1804. Was it another one of his? Because I know a lot of Beethoven's works later became associated with something, and he didn't originally necessarily, like the Pathétique was not called the Pathétique.
I see what you mean.
Tell me about the association with Napoleon and how it was arranged.
I shall.
Please.
Because when Beethoven was always very much sort of anti-monarchy, anti-empire, and she'll thinking,
Man after my own heart.
Well, think of like the text he uses in Beethoven 9.
Liberation,
So when Napoleon was sort of getting going, shall we say, he was very much connected with sort of republicanism and sort of anti-monarchs, because that's very much what he was up to. There was an early version of the Third Symphony, which is entitled
Here we go, ladies and gents.
Intitolata Bonaparte. There we go. Entitled Bonaparte. So he'd written this symphony for him.
Right. Okay.
The term eroica came later. So eroica is heroic.
Yeah, the name of that. Yeah.
Because when Beethoven declared himself emperor in 1804, emperor, I don't know, was emperor of France or just emperor? Very well researched.
Wait, sorry. Napoleon.
Yes, not Beethoven. Beethoven did. Did I say Beethoven?
I thought you said Beethoven, but maybe I'm not.
Beethoven did not.
Bad start.
Beethoven was the emperor of France.
Yeah. Perfect.
But when Beethoven heard this, there's a very famous quote, which is, "So he is no more than a common mortal. Now too he will tread under the foot all the rights of man. Indulge only his ambition. Now he will think himself superior to all men. Become a tyrant."
Well, it's similar to the Roman emperors, isn't it? Because that came about. It's
there's a painting, isn't there, where he's like being crowned, and it's very
yeah. And that was also the neoclassical era, wasn't it? Or like in architecture and everything. And it's kind of coming out of that. All the columns and
But there's if you look at, there's a very famous image of the front page of the Eroica, and you can see where it's been crossed out with a lot of force.
Really?
And I think it just says sort of composed to celebrate the memory of a great man.
Right.
So that funeral march is
it is.
Napoleon.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's, in my opinion, the best part of that symphony. I love 3. Actually.
I love 3.
3 is definitely up there among my favourites.
3 is a banger.
3 is a banger to end all bangers. Speaking of monarchy,
yes.
I have a next question for you.
An extra one.
A next question.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes. Which is,
oh no,
which of the following queens of England was not immortalized in a 19th century Italian opera?
Oh my God, Alex!
Queen Henrietta Maria, Lady Jane Grey, Eleanor of Aquitaine.
I hate you.
And Jane Seymour.
I hate you, because this only happens in Italian bel canto from 1820 to 1842.
Just use your brain.
Oh.
Should we go through them all again?
Yes, please.
Okay, Henrietta Maria is number 1.
Who the hell is Henrietta Maria?
She was the wife of Charles I.
Oh, I'm not when you say Queens of England, I think you meant Queens.
Oh, no, like Queen Consort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Widen the field.
Queen Consort.
I was like, where were you on that list?
yeah. I'm actually number 5, Miss from 5. Yeah.
The problem is I can't think of any operas that any of those people are in, and they're all by Bellini.
One of them is by Bellini.
Okay, go on, hit me. I don't know. I can't give it to you.
Okay. So Henrietta Maria is featured in I Puritani. She is the central figure in I Puritani.
Really?
He helps her escape, and that's why he leaves the wedding, and Elvira goes mad.
Classic.
Lady Jane Grey, Giovanna Grey, is an opera by Vaccai.
Okay.
And I think there was somebody else who was working on a Giovanna Grey as well.
That's a good opera. I think a good idea for an opera.
It is. It makes sense. Jane Seymour is the mezzo-soprano character in Anna Bolena, of course.
Oh, yes! I've
Giovanna
seen that.
Seymour and Anna Bolena.
The Italianized names.
The one is Eleanor of Aquitaine is not in a 19th century Italian opera.
Oh, because she's in a 20th.
But she is in a 20th century opera called Flower and Hawk by Carlisle Floyd.
You don't know that one, do
I
you?
do not know
Neither
that at
do
all.
I.
But I was thinking, I was like, oh, I don't think that she was featured in an Italian opera of the 19th century. And I was like, I looked up whether she was featured in any opera, and it said, yes, she is.
Good for
In
her.
Flower and Hawk, yes.
I think she would make a good idea for an
I
opera, though,
agree.
to be
I feel
fair.
like she was another kind of powerful figure with a lot of force, and I can, like, very easy to romanticize. It's like Anna Bolena, for example, as an opera. They really kind of go into her lost love, which was Henry Percy. But what's funny about the opera is that all Tudor men were called Henry, and so you
Yes.
can't call every character Enrico. So they rename him Ricardo.
Of
Ricardo
course they
Percy.
do. Of course
And so they have
do.
to like rename
Oh, that's
it. Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. So yes, Eleanor of Aquitaine was the outlier in the list of English queens.
Now we know. You know, when I'm walking the streets of London at the dead of night, and I'm held at knife point by someone that's just left the Royal Opera House.
Yeah.
Which opera?
Which
has Eleanor
English
of
queen
Aquitaine-
was not featured? And what's funny about it is they'll have to have the exact same 4 options for you to get it right. Because what if it's another one? There we go.
I'm really glad that we're able to provide such wide-ranging content.
Yeah,
applicable
well,
to
I was
all.
like, I felt like yours were going to be very kind of music-centric, and I was like, I'm going to have to make mine a little bit.
Yes, I've noticed. Anyway,
Yeah.
which 2 Baroque composers are linked to the same notorious travelling eye surgeon?
Oh. Now that is a challenging one. Notorious travelling eye
He's notorious
surgeon
for quite a main,
who
a good
had
reason.
optical issues. Baroque composer.
Baroque, yes, 1685 to 1759. If we're going Handel,
Did you just say Handel?
well, because that's when Handel died. So
Okay,
1759 would be the end of that. I'm just showing off.
Yeah, okay, but Handel's not one of them.
He might be. I've got a list.
I see. Oh my god, okay. Notorious travelling eye surgeon. I want to go like French Baroque. I want to go with like...
Don't.
Okay, right. So thank you very much for that one. Are we talking like Bach?
Yes, he's one of them.
Bach is one of them. Okay, it's a classic guess. Scarlatti.
No.
Oh dear.
It was Bach and Handel.
Handel. Okay, well there we go.
Yeah. So what is quite crazy is that how linked Bach and Handel seem to be. They grew up they actually were born in the same year. 1685.
Okay, let's go with that.
Yeah, I think it is 1685.
Definitely 16 something.
Okay.
I can vouch for that.
1685. And they grew up they were born relatively close to each other
Yeah.
in Germany, or what was then
Yeah.
the Holy Roman Empire. But I don't believe they ever met.
Mhm.
However, both of them, towards the end of their life, started to suffer with eyesight issues,
Interesting. Okay.
losing like a severe loss.
So this
like,
was clearly something that affected a lot of composers back then.
Yeah, it was happened to like the low light,
Yeah.
squinting at scores.
Have you seen if you see a bust of Schubert as well? You see him with those massive
yeah,
goggle
the
glasses.
goggles.
Yeah. They look so funny. But yes, so they had eyesight lost towards the end of their
this
lives.
English traveling English eye surgeon, John Chevalier Taylor, he went across Europe, sort of advertising that he could sort of do these dramatic cataract treatments, which is never a good thing to hear
No.
in sort of 1750.
Also, just reminding everybody that this is without anaesthetic.
Oh God!
These are this
Yes.
is somebody shoving a knife in your eye.
Yeah, almost worse. In fact, you probably would have you'd have drugged you with sort of like you just got drunk a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like you get you drunk. The way he did his operation. A needle was inserted into the eye, and the cloudy lens, which is the cataracts, was pushed out of the visual axis rather than removed. So it was just sort of pushed to the side rather than they got rid of it. He operated in Bach in Leipzig in 1750. I just can't laugh at this. It didn't go very well because he was blind in one eye, and then he had another.
God.
He did it again. And then subsequent to that, he died from an illness caused by that.
Oh my God! And then Handel.
Handel was also suffering eyesight issues. Sort of, in 1751, he was composing Jephthah.
Yeah.
an oratorio, and there's a very on his score he writes unable to go on owing to the weakening of the sight of my left eye.
Interesting.
So we know that he was suffering.
Yeah.
He also had the same treatment. I believe it also killed him.
Yeah. Is this a conspiracy theory, or is this like that this was linked?
But
it's not going to help, is it?
It's for some reason the Bach one is there's lots of evidence, but this one we know that he was in there and was like in contact with him and had the thing. We can't say that's what killed him.
How old were they both when they passed away? Were they
passed away? Sorry,
when they passed on. Passed over.
So if it was 1685, he would have been Bach would have been 50, 65.
Yeah.
That
feels really old.
Oh, okay.
For back then.
It was quite old. And then Handel would have been 70-something. I may have got this all wrong. I'm sure it's 65, 70, 50, 65, about 72.
Okay.
Which is good. Good going.
Yeah, good innings.
However, these are not nice ways of going.
What I think is interesting about surgery back then as well is they used to do it so quickly because you had such a limited space of time. So the amputations and everything, they would literally just be like, whip them off.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's awful.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into too much detail in case we spook people, but I went to the HMS Victory in Portsmouth.
Cool.
Which is a similar sort of time, a bit later. And if you go down to the lowest level of the decks, it's so far down, it's now underwater if it's in the sea. You have to like crouch not crouch, you have to like crouch yourself over because the ceiling is not high. It's just candlelight, and then that's where all the surgery happened. And so imagine like tossing at sea, people needing amputations, and they just sort of get them drunk and bite on leather and Anyway,
on that, yes, I'm trying to think of which question to ask you next.
Yes, I can't wait.
I think I'm going to do a Wagner-y one for you. But it's a sidestep from Wagner, I have to say. It's Wagner adjacent.
It's always Wagner adjacent.
Scandalous 20th century dancer Isadora Duncan.
Yes. Oh, you've told me about this.
Have I?
Keep going.
Danced in her translucent veils and toga in which Wagner opera?
Oh, God.
I have options.
Okay, give me some options.
Them. But, like, my clue to you is think of, like, a kind of what kind of Wagner opera could somebody come in a...
I know, that's what I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give you some options. Die Walküre, Gottesdämmerung, Parsifal, or Meistersinger von Nürnberg.
I feel like it's not Meistersinger.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not The Ring. It must be Parsifal?
You're right, you're correct.
Yes.
She did the Flower Maiden scene.
I see.
She was scattering flowers and skipping about.
And was this wasn't the original, this was kind of in the original
No. It wouldn't have been one of, but she lived in Bayreuth with Cosima Wagner.
Yes.
And so she did have a real connection with Wagner's music, and she often would wheel out a Wagner thing in one of her recitals. But she was so scandalizing, she affected people so much. And it was one of the biggest scandalous things about her is that not only that her clothes were, you could see through them, but she danced barefoot.
Insane.
And it was very unusual to see anybody barefoot back then.
Yes.
And she was meant to have been inspired by ancient Greek kind of things.
That's what they all say.
But she was such a vivid performer, and I've read her autobiography. We can't know that all of it's true. It's she certainly needed money and she needed good stories, and that's what she provided.
We've all been there.
But her children died in this really kind of awful accident, and she believed that she danced the Chopin funeral march so vividly that she brought about the deaths of her children. Her children were sent home from a party with their governess, and the barouche kind of derailed and went into a ravine, and they all drowned. And she believed that her performance of Chopin's funeral march was so vivid that the pianist apparently was shaking, and she said, "What's happened?" And he said, "You must never, ever dance that again. Death was there."
That's what you
Then
did.
her
That's what I
children
said to you
died.
after you danced.
It's very
Steph.
sad. And then, do you know about Isadora Duncan's death? She was the
No.
one who, she had her long scarf, and she was kind of going off for this tryst with her young Russian boyfriend, and she threw her scarf back, and it was caught in the back wheel of her car, and she was still known as Isadora Duncan syndrome. If you get a piece of clothing caught in machinery and you die or you're injured, it's known as Isadora Duncan
That's
syndrome.
insane.
Insane. So she was a very unlucky lady, but she was a very inspiring lady too.
This is why we have you on the pod.
This is
why you're
This
here.
is a little pearl.
This is why you're
you
here.
got that one right, Johnny. Congratulations.
Thank you. Can I take this moment to talk about Bayreuth?
I would love you to talk about Bayreuth, please.
But you know what I'm going to talk about because it's been in the news recently.
Yes.
Well, it's not in the news. Well, it's made quite a
Yes, I know what you're going to say.
You know where I'm going.
I do.
And
yeah.
I'm going to...
But tell me, because I have thoughts as well.
So Bayreuth, for anyone that doesn't know, is the opera house that Wagner himself designed and built whilst he was still alive.
Yeah.
And it was perfectly designed, well, according to him, for his shows, his operas.
Yeah.
And since then, until this day, has been run by the Wagner family. And every summer, every year, they do the Bayreuth Festival, where they put on a lot of Wagner operas. Sometimes they do full rings, they'll do the early unknown ones. They're doing Rienzi this year. But they made a big splash in their production of Götterdämmerung, which is the last opera of the Ring, where they used AI to generate the sort of backdrop of the set, the scene. I read that they fed in lots of like imagery from like the previous like Wagner operas, from the Rings.
I see. Yeah.
They put lots of cultural things in, like writing or paintings from the time. Also, sort of like modern sort of political or sort of disastrous events. Like, I mean, like 9/11 was featured.
It is a destructive ending, isn't it? Götterdämmerung. Yeah, it's the whole point. Yeah.
But it was all done. As in, like, it was AI generated, and there was supposedly someone that, like, I don't know. I mean, I
kind of curated it, or
there's no curation with AI. That's what I mean. It's just the most disappointing thing to see, and because people like someone somewhere didn't get a job. Because of this.
That's the upsetting thing, isn't it?
And like Wagner's idea of like Gesamtkunstwerk, like all this art coming together.
Yeah.
Suddenly, this isn't art.
No, exactly.
And
exactly.
I just think Bayreuth is such a major, like, sort of cornerstone of like Western like opera and culture in Europe. And to see, when's the Louvre going to start AI genning? Like,
it's a scary thought. Also, the reviews I've read of it said that it was horrific.
1 star.
Yeah.
It deserved that.
Yeah, and that it was just kind of a mess. And I also knowing the ticket prices for Bayreuth and what a pilgrimage it is, and the whole point of it is that it's so curated to the end result, and that it's a synthesis of so many different things that serve the art form.
Yeah.
I understand the want to be provocative, and I understand the want to kind of think about what art is, and maybe there's this kind of artificial intelligence, alien, like association with gods and some kind of other world. But I mean, just morally. And
it's
also
disgusting.
How I've seen that it's been realised. It's disappointing, and just, I don't really know what else to say about it other than
really. I think people at Bayreuth, some people at Bayreuth should lose their jobs.
Really? Yeah.
I also think that if, like, I know there's this whole, like, slippery slope sort of argument, but, like, what happens when AI starts making directorial decisions? What happens when AI starts choosing what operas are going to go into a season? Could it be probably quite good at that? Because it can look at ticket sales and audience interests.
There is also like a slight, there is an argument that I've heard from people, which is that, like, making art is elitist. And like AI is kind of bringing the opportunity to make art to a wider variety of people.
No, because that's not art. Art needs humanity in it. Art is humanity. And I think that's why...
That's an interesting
when
point,
Wagner,
though.
We know that Wagner...
I'm not sure, like... I'm not sure that I agree that that's like the thing about art, that's what makes art different from other things, but... Go on.
A fight.
Yeah.
But I just think we know that Wagner felt grief, love, joy, sadness, and that everything of all of his experience has been channeled into his like output, into his music, into his drama, and that's humanity. That's what makes art, is that it's come from a human's point of view. Equally, there's a lot of the human parts of Wagner that people are bad. That he's a very controversial figure, but that's just art. That is, you've got to take both with it. It's never going to be one.
And also, there's a difference between art and good art. I think that, certainly at the moment, what AI can produce will never be akin to something that's been curated, thought. I mean, it's sort of offensive to the role of a director in a production to think that can be outsourced to AI.
And it's just, that's not the only thing that was AI, because I saw just people that were there on their stories. There was like a sign pointed towards, it was either like a coffee house or Wagner, for a wine bar or something. And it was just an AI image of Wagner with like a wine glass.
No, but this is everywhere. I have to say, so many opera houses are doing AI.
It just looks awful. And
I think it just looks horrific and
tacky.
It's sort of too realistic to be art, but too poreless to be at all realistic.
Yes.
And it's just, yes, it's tacky, but it's also just cringe.
It just takes the joy out of it.
It does.
It's
and,
just
it's at odds with a great work of art like Götterdämmerung. Yeah, it's a very interesting thing, and I have to say, when I saw this at Bayreuth, I actually was not that surprised. I feel like it would be a German opera house, put it that way. I mean, it's true though.
It's almost ironic, because the whole point of the ring is about the natural order of things being disrupted, like the gold being stolen and the rings being made.
This is why I'm I can understand the artistic choice in wanting to use AI for it, but I don't know. Yeah, it is true that somebody didn't get that job, and
the same with this sign. I mean, it's just a sign pointing to a cafe, but it meant that a designer somewhere didn't like.
What's amazing about Wagner's work as well is the kind of the natural special effects.
Yes,
and the effects the stage effects that they used. And again, though, I suppose this, thinking about it, I again see that the modern equivalent to that kind of innovation that Wagner was using, is AI. But it isn't as well. It isn't, because it's
I see where you're going. You're a way of pushing boundaries.
That was what Wagner was doing.
But they can do it without. You can have an artist there live doing it.
Yeah. It's true. There are so many other kind of different ways that you can realize that, and I agree that I think it's morally very questionable and upsetting.
It's just especially from the artistic direction team or where it's come from, and I think. They should lose their jobs. Clap if you think they should shut up.
Death to all of them.
No, can't say that.
I'm quoting Wendy Williams. I didn't mean it.
Clap if you think they should suffer.
That is Wendy Williams.
That was us being very serious.
Yeah, being serious.
But I enjoyed that.
I did too.
Have you got a quote? It's me, isn't it?
It's you, I think.
You will know this one.
What famous last words?
At the premiere of which work did the audience famously erupt into chaos?
Well, okay, to be devil's advocate here, there are probably many first works where people erupted into chaos, but the one that's the most famous example is The Rite of Spring.
No, I'm joking. No, it is that, sorry.
Yeah, The Rite of Spring. Tell us all about it, or shall I share what I shall I share what I know?
I'll just fact check you in real time.
Well, it's an interesting one, The Rite of Spring, and I think one of the conversations that lots of people have is whether it was the music or whether it was the dancing. And I mean, the costumes, for example. Well, what's interesting about Ballet Russe is that when Stravinsky first started working with Ballet Russe, his musical language was a lot more traditional than what they were doing on stage. What they were doing on stage was quite new, but Firebird, for example, you can tell when it's written.
It's still
and it's
got
an amazing
foot
piece,
in the 19th century.
Yeah, definitely. Whereas Rite of Spring was deconstructed in so many ways, and there's also, did the dancers get it wrong? There's another thing of were they actually out of time, because they weren't used to working in that way.
No, especially Nijinsky
was very much kind of behind his dancers, but I think weren't they all sort of mortified when it happened? Because you sort of think with artists, they love it when their work is controversial enough to cause a stir. And later in life, Stravinsky obviously like wore like a badge
he
of honor.
lived for the drama.
But at the time, I think, and people were screaming and shouting and really erupting. In my opinion, I think it was seeing dancers like that, because the music,
so.
while eccentric, again, I think just seeing that choreography on stage of like the turned in feet,
the
stamping, jumping up and down, and it was real, and it brought out something in the audience that they felt that they could also act in that way that was quite...
it was so different to what we'd seen before. I was not there.
Sucks to be you.
Can't tell you. It was amazing. Yeah, well done.
That's it. Yeah, there we go. Extra point.
Just extra. I mean, the great point. It probably was the dancing. I think, because if you listen to a lot of other music around that time, whilst Stravinsky, the Rite of Spring is very revolutionary, it wasn't the first to sort of really push the boat out in terms of harmony and sort of orchestration like that.
Yeah. I mean, like it was 1912, right, or 1913, and. Schoenberg was atonal before that.
Yeah.
There was music out there like that. People knew
that much was surprising in that regard.
Where was Piero Lunaire was before then, wasn't it? 1911, something like that.
Oh, I can't remember. For some reason, I have 1924 in my head, but I could just be making that up as well.
Piero Lunaire is pre-World War One, but.
Oh, it does make sense. Okay, I don't know.
I also don't. But then this is an interesting point, isn't it? Because Stravinsky, the move towards neoclassical music was supposed to have been
a counter
after World War One.
Yeah.
And this was an interesting shift, wasn't it? Because this comes just around World War One, doesn't it? And the world is changing, and perhaps the public, there were more general anxieties that manifested themselves there at that theatre. So
yes, true. There's a great story of when Stravinsky was writing the Rite of Spring, and he showed it to Debussy.
Yeah.
And Debussy says that he was just sort of at the piano manically playing and singing in parts.
We all know composers like that.
And okay,
stares at you.
But that's actually what's quite funny. It was it's held in such high regard in terms of orchestration.
Yeah, iconic.
But before its final version, there were lots of bits in it that were not well orchestrated at all. Like a flute trying to counter, be playing at the same time as 8 horns.
Interesting, yeah.
Or 6 horns. As the balance wasn't there. So actually, it's been through a lot, but it is just brilliant.
I mean, it is an amazing piece. Yeah. That work, was that all done by Stravinsky before the premiere, or was that done since the premiere? So that might be a stupid question. Were there different versions of Rite of Spring?
It probably would have happened afterwards. I imagine that was the first one.
I was going to ask a Rite of Spring question, but
please.
I'm not going to, because I'm actually just going to say this fact because I think it's interesting and I don't know how to turn it into a question. But what I found interesting about the Rite of Spring was that Stravinsky first, the opening bassoons there.
Yes.
He originally said it was bird song.
Yes.
And then later in life, to sound more like he was kind of starting the neoclassical movement, then he was like, it's depersonalized, it's blunt, prehistoric instruments.
Prehistoric people
and
playing.
It's meta.
I mean, Stravinsky's great. I mean, we could probably do a Stravinsky episode because he is the most inconsistent interview person ever. He will just say different things.
Yeah.
Because he also said that there's barely any quotes. There's no quotations of folk tunes or whatever in Rite of Spring, and there's countless musicologists have found loads.
It's everywhere. It's Petrushka is literally all Russian folk songs.
No, nothing.
The first bit is Russian dance.
Banger, another banger.
Yeah, there are loads of folk tunes that come through Rite of Spring.
Honestly, it's one of those pieces you can just listen and always hear something.
Yeah, it's so true.
Love it. Sorry, one last thing just on that. We know that a year later that it was just done in concert and it was really well received.
Yeah.
So it probably was the dance.
Yeah. And whether it's interesting to think whether things went wrong or I don't know.
That's true. We weren't there.
My next one is going to be a little bit of a funny one. Which of the following 19th century composers wrote this erotically charged letter to his male roommate?
Oh, God.
The letter.
Yes.
You don't like being kissed. Please allow me to do so today. you have to pay for the dirty dream I had about you last night. Was that Franz Schubert, Frédéric Chopin, Johannes Brahms,
Oh,
or Pyotr Tchaikovsky?
I wish it was Brahms, but it's probably Tchaikovsky. Or was it Schubert?
Mystery option 4, it was Chopin.
What?
It was Chopin. Yeah.
That's mad.
It is a little bit wild. He was a bit tubercular. He was a bit weak.
I didn't know he was into all that.
Apparently so. Well, it's funny. I feel like so many people, loads of the biographers, again, like you had earlier with your quotes of the biographers talking about the Haydn Symphony 45.
Yeah.
I think lots of the biographers of Chopin are like, oh, it was, military school messing around. I don't remember. I've made up the military school part. But, oh, it was, schoolmates messing around, everyone's just having jokes like that.
Friends.
It's nothing. They were actually best friends. And
Roommates.
I think even so far, a lot of the biographers are like, oh, it's, there's absolutely no evidence for this. But for me, reading that letter...
Yeah, I'd say that's quite...
I feel like it's quite plain. Do you not agree? Like, I feel like this...
Do we know anything else about this person?
Yes, and he was... I think a few of Chopin's early works were dedicated to him.
So it was early.
The Mozart transcription, La ci darem la mano,
Yeah.
is, I think, dedicated to this man.
I see.
Which, again, is a slight romantic... slight. Yes, and I think this is definitely widely known among Chopin biographers. Yes, and it was definitely... But it was a youthful thing, and he was very much in love with this girl who broke his heart, or they broke up their engagement.
Classic.
And the early piano concerti are all about that experience, I think. And it was Georges Sand as well, female writer who he was supposedly romantically linked to as well. But again, there's another food for thought that was actually much more platonic than people kind of...
I see.
Thoughts about.
That was... I'm sure, isn't it also he was just towards the end of his life, he was coughing up blood during
Well,
concerts.
yeah, he was basically kind of horizontal the whole time. In his bed, occasionally leaning across and doing a little arabesque on the piano.
Yes.
And then...
That's how you
me
see
every day.
yourself.
Yeah, literally. Me most days.
But it's just diddly, diddly, diddly. It's just the chopsticks.
Yeah, that's enough piano for today.
I think we've actually...
Shall we round it up?
I think we've gone through this a lot slower than I thought we'd done, but that's because it's been exciting and thrilling.
It has. It's been entertaining, thrilling, exciting. I hope you've all found it entertaining, exciting, and thrilling too.
I'm sure they have. And I hope you've been playing along, because we're going to do part 2.
Yes, we shall we? Yes,
I think we
do
should.
part 2. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I've got plenty more.
We're also going to talk about some experiences in concerts that we've had.
Some more, but we wanted to kind of give it a more... violent.
No, it's not that bad. Anyway, I had an argument at the proms, so we'll leave you with that.
And he needs to talk about it.
It needs to be said.
Next time.
Thank you so much for
See you
listening.
then.